Okay. Clear throat noises, etc., 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 etc. Excedrin. Let me do this first. Run the dumb ad so it queues up the next thing. But I'm gonna pop over here, let everything pop in, give it a second to process. You know what really grinds my gears? Sweet. Oh. Let's see. I believe I had everything on my Photoshop tab. Boop. Did I have Visual Script on anything? Do I have Visual Script on anything? I think I had it on this. Well, I need to figure out what all my code is doing again. I, never gave myself the chance to do that yet. Also, I'm capturing myself now. Let me turn that off for a second. Instead of doubling my screen. There we go. So, I'll leave it like that because I use it for my other tab too. But, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 scripts right now. So we got this one, which is about... How long is this one? Let's, almost 950 lines. That one's like 130. That one's like 50. That one's pretty short. That's 15. That is the one we just started, and this is the one we just started. This is another like 81. Like 20. This is for the server. That's almost 200. I'm rounding up pretty high, but just looking through. Okay, so our chessboard is the main script here, and that has most of our code on it. But we want to look at the unit and action time. I need to set back up, well, right now we're just testing, so we're gonna try and set up a example RPG and see how that goes. Also, hey, we hope you're doing alright. Hi. Yo. And now I need to sit through several different YouTube tutorials and figure out how to code this again, because I haven't done it in a while. Let me look. I should have this on my history. I made something using this video before, when I was trying to do a basic RPG system, but I have not in a hot second. I always have a whole bunch of anime trash in my YouTube list. Oh, there it is.
With 360 checking from Capital
And there's
One,
an
it's
advertisement.
all about you.
Did you
Banking
know you
the
could
way
get
you want,
360
where you
Capital One?
want, when you want, with our top-rated mobile app. Plus, there are no
Top-rated.
fees or minimums.
Did you know?
Bank your way with 360 checking from Capital
I'm
One.
glad I can't
Hit the
skip
button
this.
to learn more.
Okay. Now wait, there's a second ad. This
And
one's
opening
5
up in
minutes.
Visual Studio.
Okay. Luckily I had it where it more or less left off. Okay, so... Stretch. What? I don't have Christmas music on right now. I just have my normal playlist. This is just my normal playlist. This is my, what I call doing random stuff that isn't playing a video game playlist. Well, actually, what is it actually called? It's just called stream music for me, but, right now, this is Time's Seal from the jazz tribute to Chrono Trigger, is what this is from. Though it does sound kind of Christmassy with some of those piano keys and stuff. I can see I can see how you get that.
And we're going to need our start function, but we can definitely get rid of update. Now before we get started on our actual logic here, we need to define the different states that our game can be in. And to do this, we'll use something called enums or enumerations.
Oh,
These
right,
are
they
perfect
used
because they allow us to
enumerations.
define different states and
I
then
knew they did
create a
something.
variable that can always be only one of those states.
I haven't used states that much, so refreshing myself on how to use states is always a good idea. You should go channel point redeems. I don't know what to do with them. I mean, I got this stuff here in front of me, but I haven't really used it much. Just sorta there. I have my throwaway point thing. Does that matter? So you can throw away points. I don't think that shows on my little chat window thing. And wait, are you saying to prettify my my stream display, you don't like my bar? My 3-box bar? That is measured incorrectly? So it's actually like 1,599 instead of 1,600? So it doesn't fit the screen properly for the resolution I wanted? You don't enjoy that? I usually just cut it off slightly anyway, so it's fine. Oh yeah. Yeah. You mean that stuff? I think that would be more important if I was like actually trying again, but I haven't been actually trying for a while. Also on the wrong thing.
So we'll start by defining them. We'll create a public enum up here. Notice that I'm doing this outside of the class, and let's call it battle state. We'll
Right. I guess for now I'll just copy and then we'll see what we can edit. That's usually a good way to go about it. I might need to look at some other people's stuff too. I wonder how running them in Godot that wouldn't work. I don't know. It seems like you've been pretty consistent. I would say that's trying. I'm usually pretty inconsistent. Especially not streaming the same thing, literally, always, can hurt you a bit. But it happens. I mean, that's consistent, technically. Being inconsistent is if you do like what I do, where I don't stream for like over a week straight, and then I stream like every day in a week, and then I take like a month off, and then I stream again. Is inconsistent. Wait, do they make this a method? Yeah, they do. I always forget the right terminology for this, but we'll not worry about that.
then open and close some curly brackets. And a lot of people put a semicolon here. You should not do that because we're not calling a function here. We're defining an enum. And in here we'll put a start state. We'll put a player turn state, an enemy turn, a won and a lost state. And now
that sounds reasonable. We'll probably want more states than that though, when we're actually doing it. But for right now, we're just trying to get things together, so... actually, do I need commas? Yeah, I do need. Yeah, that should be fine for right now.
Inside of our battle system, what we can do is now create a public battle state and just call it state. And now we can
Public battle state. Remember that. Okay.
set this state equal to whatever we want. So inside of our start, once we load up the battle scene here, we're simply going to set state equal to battle state dot, and here we get all of the states, and we of course want to choose start here. So
Yeah. That makes sense. I wonder if you could put it on awake. It probably wouldn't matter. Well, I can make this. Battle system state equals. Oh wait, wrong thing. Start. Okay, you get all that. I can only guarantee 1 day a week since I'm a student. Did I read all of that? Scroll. Let me get my my Wii voice. People like to interact with their streamer. Well, I'm not really trying either, but it gives people more stuff to interact with. Because I know. It says IK. Now, art isn't the more fun thing to watch. I'm inconsistent. I can only guarantee 1 day a week since I'm a student. LOL. Well, you stream almost every day a week, so that's more than me. I'm more inconsistent with Instagram than I am with Twitch because streaming is more fun. It's my main way to meet people and say hi, so I want to make a good impression if I want to grow my brand. Catface. I can make you more emotes. No charge. Merry Christmas. Wow, I sound like a very bulk anime man. And then it says, Anata. No. What would be a funny thing to say? Anata wa Aka-chan desu. But all those good things. And then you go like, yo, and all good. Hansu kudasai. No. Where was I? Actually trying to work, right? I don't even remember how he laughs off the top of my head. Isn't it just like, or something like that? It's like similar to that. I don't remember though, I haven't heard it in a while.
You can see how easy it is to keep track of our states this way, and in fact if we save this script and go into Unity, we'll even be able to preview our different states and see what state we're currently in inside the inspector. Really cool. So now that we are in our start state, we can go ahead and set up the battle. So let's create a setup battle function, and let's create that down here.
Right. Oh yeah, they're making it a function. Oops. Up wouldn't be capitalized though. Set up as one word. This guy is dumb. Anata baka desu. Anata wa baka desu. That's how you do that. We're getting our Japanese practice in at the same time. It's all good. Anata is you, if you need context there. Anyway, it's probably gonna be public, even though that I'm not looking at the video right now. But why do I need the video, even though that's showing me how to make this? Actually, I don't even know if it's a void.
Void, set up
It
battle.
is a void.
And in here we of course want to spawn in our units, so we'll create a reference to them. We'll create a public game object. Let's call it player prefab.
Would I want a player prefab for that? Wouldn't I not want it to be a prefab? Well, we're just using it as an example for now anyway. Separate those. That's fine.
And we'll create a public game object enemy prefab. And where do we want to spawn these in? Well, we want to spawn them in on our battle station. So we'll create references to those two. We'll create a public transform. And this is just a transform, not a game object, because we just need the location of these battle stations, not the entire object. And this is going to be the player battle station. And we'll of course also have one for the enemy battle station. Then when we set up the battle, we can go ahead and instantiate or spawn in a player prefab as a child of and on top of the player battle station. There we go. And we can do the same.
Yeah, that would make sense. It's been too long since I've done this. Been too long. Yeah, I like that. That's good. What do you mean for my coding? Oh, wait, no, you meant for the Doflamingo thing. Let me just choke for a second. Wealth, fame, power. This was me choking on water right now. Stop. I always forget what it is. Is it Kaizuko ni? Or is it Kaizuko ore? No, I don't remember. There's a few hidden syllables in there. They sneak them in because they say them really softly and or say them very fast, so it's hard to notice. Well, they'd probably say wa in there somewhere because you would have to make it the subject of the sentence to say, you know, that you're gonna be Pirate King. You want people to know. Go like, Mina! And then someone named Mina turns around and goes like, what are you saying? And they're like, I'm talking to everyone, not you, Mina. And that's the joke. That's it. That's all you get. And then we instantiate. Yeah. The funniest thing, instantiating. I just want to know if the person's doing this as a tutorial, how would you set up to make it maintain the logic of keeping your stats between different plays? You wouldn't be able to use a prefab then. You would have to use something else that would be tracking it. So I'd have to figure it out differently if I wanted to actually track the health. Or I'd have to have it save the health to a different file, and then it would have to load the file. Whenever you get into a battle... Not sure. Wrong one. Scroll.
Same thing with our enemy prefab on top of the enemy battle station. And if we save that and go into Unity, we can drag in our player prefab, our enemy.
Right. So, you hadn't seen this yet, I suppose. What I was doing on my Doom stuff. Where's the chessboard? I think it's all the way in the corner. All the way in the corner, all the way down there. Too far. There we go. Okay, okay. So, where did I put everything? It's battle phase, that's the canvas. I don't think I put them on anything yet. I mean, I guess I could just put it on an empty. Battle system. Okay. And then we want 2 new ones. Oh, okay. This player position. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter if it's white or black. Zoop. Moving invisible things on a 3D plane is always awkward. That looks pretty good. Probably go down a little bit. Okay, so that'll be player. That'll be enemy. Then we want our shatter. Where is our shatter? Okay. Do we want to make him left black or left white? The player one is black right now, so we need the black one. Okay. This one, and then that one. Okay. So right now, when we hit play, that should pop up. Did not pop up. Always great. Oh, let me look. Transformation position should be the position of those.
Enemy prefab, as well as our player battle station and our enemy battle station. And on our prefabs here, we want to make sure that their position is set to 0, 0, 0. We'll do that with the enemy as well.
Oh, that probably was the problem. That was probably the problem. I don't think I reset their positions. Yeah, I did not. Save. Oops. Let's see. Yeah, I think it was putting them in a
just so that when we
very
spawn
different
them in,
position.
they'll be right at the center of our battle stations. And if we now hit play, as you can see,
They have them at the center now. Does ours pop up in the center? Oh no. So, they did pop up in the center. They did pop up in the center. But the scaling The scaling was reset when I did that. Something I did not think about. Forget how big I made these guys. That's better, but now their heads are being cut off. Yeah, I mean, no real rush. The sprites just make things look nicer. So sometimes it's nice to look at for references. Though right now I've just been using random art pieces you've given me over the years. Or ones that you sent into that chat. Okay, I see the problem. I think it was because they weren't set to pivot. No, that didn't help. Let me make them just a little smaller also. Only one of them changed. I didn't change both of them. That might be too small though. That might be too small. They're both very chisai. Chisai. Anata wa chisai. They're very teeny right now. I'd probably make them larger. And probably move this in a little closer. Okay. Let's make it like... $118. That's more or less what I want. That sizing seems pretty okay. But why are they going through the floor?
We're now spawning in our units.
Let me make sure.
Unit.
Look back through this
So inside
really
of
quick.
Unity, let's start by creating our enemy. Let's right click and go create empty to create a new object. Let's call it enemy. Let's reset the transform. And if we just have a look in our scene view here, we can now see that this is an empty object. I'm just gonna go ahead and place it on top of the battle station so that we can see what it's gonna look like. Let's then add a sprite to our enemy. So I'm gonna go on the sprites and I have one here called Dwayne. And I'm simply going to take Dwayne and drag him under the enemy object. As you can see, we need to reset the transform again here. And I want to move him up to make sure that he's kind of standing on top of the pivot point here, so that once we spawn him in on top of the...
Oh, okay. I see the problem. I wasn't sure if I had to do that or not. That was if I did it a different way. I did it a different way. Okay, so I want like... Okay, remember negative 37, positive 29, 13, and then 28, 1. Should be able to just copy position. Let me just move that to the other side. Save it, and then try again. Okay, that looks better. That looks better. Let me go... Where is this? Which way is Y and which way is X again? I think it's this one. We want him to face the different direction. That is not the right way. It was X. It was X. X was the one I want. Okay, yeah, there we go. Now it looks like they're ready to punch each other in the face properly now. They're just like, there's only room big enough for red shatter in a blue shatter world. There's not enough room for blue shatter. Then now they're gonna beat each other up. And it'll be great. And then the health bar will go down. And then they'll die. Okay, let's see. I still have the billboard. So if I turn the camera, it should also function like that. Ugh. Right. Okay, so I want to make some camera positions. Main camera, boop. Then we want start camera. Where do I want to start the camera? I mean, probably this angle. No, wait. Position start. Okay. Actually, it's fine. I can do it that way. Above. Here. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have how many on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 6. Back here. Rotate. Wait, why are you rotated at an angle? Oh wait, I know why. It's still weird. Yeah, why is it doing that? Okay, there. Flat rotation. Happy? Reflection's kind of bad, but works well enough. Pop it out. Over here. I want camera position white. Well, I think I only need that. I don't know if it's gonna break if I don't have all of them. Okay, it is going to break if I don't have all of them. Well then, for right now, let's see. Black, reset position, pop it away, go over here, throw it on you, and then we'll just do white, black, white. I'm just gonna throw in random angles just so I can use it for my example. Oh yeah. Oops. I changed my code for this, so I can't actually use it. I could use it. But yeah, it's not able to see if I'm using a menu, so it thinks that I'm not using a menu. Oops. Where did I have that anyway? I think I have that in my game UI. Is game active public bool? Yeah. Yeah, I have it in here. Oops. Well, I could comment it out really quick, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I can just do this. It's not working very well, but it does change the camera angle. And just because of how I set up the positions, though. Though the sprites are moving how they should be. We're swapping the angles. I'm not sure why it's doing the thing where I can't see objects up close. Because of the clipping, right? I think it's because of the clipping. Yeah, it was because of the clipping. That's what I thought. And we want to be able to see our dumb little sprites. Okay, so our example project, we can see that. We got our buttons here. We can't use the buttons right now. But we can see the pieces on the board. Yada, yada, yada. That's good. So...
I've been thinking a lot about the
Yeah, great
unimaginable
advertisements.
situations families in Afghanistan, Syria, and other
And we'll create a public game object. Awesome. Of course,
Okay.
currently we don't know anything about our units through script. We're just spawning in the objects and nothing is really happening on the UI. So let's go ahead and change that. So first of all, we can get a reference to what we're spawning in by creating a game object variable here. We'll call it the player go or player game object and set it equal to the game object that
There we go. You stay, Sora, go. Here, player go.
we spawn in. And what we can then do is actually get the unit component on that game object. So we'll do player go dot get component of type unit. And
Okay. Player go. You say you're getting component. No. Stop clicking the wrong things. I'm not trying to build it. Units. Was that it? Sure.
And we want to go ahead and store this in a variable because we'll be referencing the unit a bunch of times whenever we need information about health and so on. So let's go to the top here and create two variables. These don't need to be public, we don't need to see them in the inspector. We'll just create a unit, player unit, and a unit, enemy unit. And then down here we can simply set player unit equal to player game object.
Always good.
Get component unit. And we'll do the exact same thing with our enemy. So game object enemy go equal.
I don't think I have anything called enemy go. I'm gonna have to change something to make it say enemy go, right? Separate that a little bit. We just want the same thing, right?
The instantiated object, and we'll set enemy unit equal to enemy go get component of type unit. There we go. And what this allows us to do is now get information about our units. In fact, let's go ahead and display the enemy unit name to the player. We access this by simply going enemy unit dot unit name. So let's go ahead and put this unit name inside of our dialog.
Did they say dot unit name?
There we go. And what this allows us to do is now get information about our units. In fact, let's go ahead and display the enemy unit name to the player. We access this by simply going enemy unit dot unit name. So let's go ahead and put this unit name inside of our dialog text right
that
here.
wasn't completed.
Of course, to do that, we need a reference to this text object here. So inside of our script, we go to the top, and because this is UI, we need to include the Unity Engine.UI namespace.
Did I already reference? Yeah, I did. Okay.
And we can then create a public text variable called dialog text.
Sure, dialog text.
Then down here, we can simply set dialog text.text equal to enemy unit.unit name. And let's just add a tiny bit to this. Let's just say a wild, and then we'll insert the enemy unit name.
And what we'll say, like, evil blue shatter appears. Right, I named it Peace Name, that's why that didn't come up. peace name for mine. So we'd have Eagle Blue appears, and I would just say like the bishop, or whatever I have it listed as right now. What do I have it listed as right now? I have the unit name as Left's Bishop White. I guess I'll just leave it evil. Did they make a space for it? Yeah, they do. Okay. Never sure if I should leave the space open or not. Also, I always forget to do this every time. This is the stuff I was writing. Every time. I'm just like, oh yeah. I didn't pop up my visual script again. But yeah, we setting up the different variables. We're setting up our battle setup. So now when we go into the battle, it's going to run our dialogue text. Is what we are attempting to do. And we want that to go over here on our canvas. This wasn't an input field, right? This is just a normal text box for TextSketch Pro, I think. I think I might have to change this. I think I have to change that to TextMesh Pro. I think this can still stay text. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that can stay text still. Maybe not. Insert. When do I have to change the string though? Enable equals blah blah blah. Would I have to set text? But I still can't reference it. I think I would normally have to do to string. Might have to look back really quick. I haven't had to do this in a hot second. Where's my other UI elements? We have the input field being referenced here, but the input field is different than actual text. Keep alive, net rematch. Client stuff, this is all for the online junk, but I can't use that for anything right now. I don't recall. Always the problem, isn't it? Let me look at this reference video. Just again.
We go to the top, and because this is UI, we need to include the Unity Engine.UI namespace, and we can then create a public text variable called dialog text. Then down here,
Yeah, that's all they do. Except I think that makes it want to use the old text. Yeah, it is. And not Text Mesh Pro text. So how do I make it use the Text Mesh Pro text? Because I didn't make it the GUI or the UI. That might have been why. I think it was just being referenced as a text box instead of UI. Could it be the problem? Could it be? Yeah, I can put it there now. Okay. Okay, that was the problem. Test real quick. Okay, yeah, it pops up. You can see it down here. Evil left, bishop white. Okay, well that did work. I mean, the camera obviously is not very good here, but does what it can. I wish I could make the reflections not so annoying. There's shadows. There, I can make it not as annoying if I just turn it off, right? Just turn off the sun really quick. Just switch it off, back on. Yeah, there you go, now I can see. Okay, so evil left bishop. Probably change it to evil white left bishop. instead of evil left bishop white. It sounds kind of weird. Also, I can probably change how this dialog box is worded. There we go. Okay, so let's first make this a lot bigger. Wrapping and overflow is fine. Okay, that's fine. Gonna change it to white left bishop. And then save that again. Let's load this up again. See how that looks. Okay, that looks better. Evil white left bishop appears. So yeah, I figure when you get into a battle, it'll put them onto the elevated platform. The UI is probably going to look different than this, but example UI. This is why I have graphic designers. Skilled graphic designers that are totally still listening right now. Yeah, probably we'll be able to make that look nicer. And not just have all of the default text stuff. But, for right now, it serves its purpose. Making it look a little nicer. Now, realistically, on the game board, I could make these bigger or smaller. I'll definitely have to play with the camera on the actual chess scene, too.
We can simply set dialog, text. Let's double click it to open it up. Again, we can go ahead. We could do all this through the battle system script, but that would get very long. So let's go ahead and split it into a separate one that we place on our battle HUD objects themselves. So I'm simply going to select these two and let's create a battle HUD script. Again, let's double click it to open it up. Again, we can go ahead and...
Okay, need a third script now. That script was so good I could use a third one. Wonderful. Okay. I'll just call it Battle HUD. And I guess we're putting those on our positions? Question mark?
remove the two functions here. Let's create a public text. And again, remember this is UI, so we need to use unityengine.ui. And this is going to reference our name text object on the UI. We'll do the same thing with our level text. And we'll also create a public slider to control our HP slider. We then create a function that is going to update these UI elements. So let's create a public void, and we're making this public so that we can call it from within our battle system script. And let's just name it something like...
Okay, so then we need public text, slider, set HUD. We're doing that outside, right? No, we're doing it inside. Do it inside. Well, they're using the UI one specifically. I always forget what the UI one is called. What is it called? Yeah, Pro GUI. We want this one. So much longer than just text. Then we want another one. Or well, we want this to be piece type. Because it's chess pieces for our case. HP slider. I probably won't use the slider. Yeah, a slider. But maybe I'll use a slider, I don't know. We're using it for our example at the very least.
Set HUD. Of course, we need some information about what we should set it to, so let's just take in a unit and call it unit. This
Okay. Taking a unit, call it unit.
way we have access to all the information we need. And here we can then just set name text.text equal to unit.unitName.
So we want piece name dot text equal wait, did I need these the same name these the same thing? Okay, I should probably do this. Piece text then. Just so I can differentiate it. Differentiate it. You gotta differentiate it, or else it's gonna go bad. You know what I'm saying? No. Good. Wunderbar.
Instead, level text.text equal to, let's put level, and then plus the unit.unit level.
Okay, so we want, those are the wrong things. Piece type. Dot text equals. So we made it our piece name as well as piece number. Okay, so we want maybe I should make another category here. And then we can make it piece number plus make a space, plus. Okay. We got that there, so I want to go over to my assets now. No, didn't update that. Always remember to save. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna make this class bishop. Bishop. Okay. And just for the sake of it, we'll make this one number 2. Just so we can make sure both of them work. Okay.
For the HP slider, we can set the max value equal to the unit.max HP.
Okay, so we want HP slider. Max value equal units. Max HP.
And HP slider dot value will set equal to unit dot current HP.
Okay. Just value. Just value.
There you go. Of course, we probably want to update the HP a bunch of times every time someone attacks or heals. And so let's just create a quick function for that that only updates the HP. So let's do a public void set HP.
Okay.
This is simply going to take in an int with the HP. And here we can just set HP slider dot value equal to that value.
Okay. HP slider value equal HP.
Cool. So that's
Cool. Did I make anything named HP? Did they make anything named HP? Oh. That's why. I was like, what was happening? Oh, they defined it in the function.
actually it for our battle HUD. All we need to do now is go into our battle system, and in here we need to create a reference to each of the battle HUDs. One for the player HUD and one for the enemy HUD. So we'll just create a public battle HUD, call it player HUD, and a public.
Okay.
Battle HUD called enemy HUD. And inside of our setup battle function, we then say player HUD dot set HUD, and we'll pass in the player unit. And we'll do the same thing.
Player HUD, set HUD, player unit.
for the enemy. So enemy HUD, that's set HUD, enemy unit. There we go. Let's save this.
Did I do that wrong somehow? Why is it saying it's wrong? Did I write enemy unit incorrectly or something? Oh, yes I did. I literally wrote it incorrectly. Good job, me. Good job. Well, if it's the little problems, it's not the big problem, so I'm fine with
Go
that.
into Unity. And you can see both of the battle HUDs now have some variables that we need to fill out. So for the enemy battle HUD, let's drag in the name text, level text, and the slider. And we'll do
Blue is the enemy. And now it's working again. Always good. Oh. Oops. We want black slider. White slider. Okay. Okay. Text and type. For them, that was like what level? Yeah, it's level and name. Level and name, text and type. Okay, so name. Okay. Right. Let me just double check I'm putting the right ones in the right spot. Okay, that should be
Our
good.
battle system script, the name text, level text, and the slider. And we'll do the same thing for the player battle HUD. And for our battle system, we just need to drag in the 2 battle HUDs. Awesome! If we now hit play, we can see immediately our HUD.
Okay. So then, battle system. Alright, so, in theory, game theory, in game theory, those did not update.
updates to show the names of our 2 units, the level, as well as our current HP.
Actually, I didn't notice. Did it change the HP? Let me try and lower their HP. Okay, the HP slider works. The HP slider does indeed work. But the rest of it didn't update. So why? Why did the rest of it not update? Okay, I think I know why. I think it's because all the stupid placeholder stuff is here. For whatever reason. Okay, so we want name. Yeah. We want the piece. Save. Then we want name. And then we want piece again. Save. Try again. It still didn't update it. Let me look at this. Am I updating the right stuff? I mess it up somehow? It's doing it correctly for the dialogue text. Units. Did I have to change the int to a string? Maybe I don't need to. I don't think I need to. Unit to unit level. It's reading it, but it's not updating it. Why is it not updating it, though? And why is there so much random stuff under these? I think that might be what's messing it up.
Among the mist, I see a stretching path reaches out so far beyond what I can see. How far would I be walking till I reach the end of a path that's to be seen? I would keep thinking, questioning to myself, why do I have to walk this path? Oh, why? I can't seem to find the real meaning to this path that I take fate to accept, and my goal seems so far away. So tell me why I'm
Let's see if this works. Oh no, it's a fake PNG. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be a fake PNG, right? Why wouldn't it? Fake PNGs are why I have trust issues. Here, I'll use this, even though that it doesn't look very good. Wait, did that just save that as a JPEG? No, it didn't. Okay. That would have been even worse. Would have been even worse. Really? Huh. Forget how you do layers in this one. You just put it above it? Yeah, I guess. Okay. Pop that there. Okay. Do I still have... No, it's fine.
Tell me why, the reason I'm here, just only you I see from far away. I've come for you, don't know why. I searched all night and day, but when I'm here, darkness came. No lights to show the way. Dark despair. Still I seek
Okay. Hold on. Zoom over here. Actually, I should do that, shouldn't I? Okay. Save. Let's look at that again. Okay, everything is displaying correctly. Text could probably be formatted a little better, but it is displaying correctly. And let's see how that looks. Okay, that looks a lot better. Unit 1, Unit 2, white left bishop, black left bishop, unit class bishop, unit class bishop. They have the HP displayed. Evil white left bishop appears. Okay. That is displaying how we would like it.
So let's do a public vote. Awesome. So we can check off our battle HUD here, and I think it's time to dig into some of the player actions. So inside of our script here in our battle system, let's have a look at what should happen when we're done setting up our battle. Well, at this point, I think we should go ahead and transition to the player's turn. So we'll simply add a line at the end here that says state equals battle state dot player turn. And we can call a function called player turn. And let's go.
Okay, so action time. Set up battle. Do the units. Then we want state equal. So we would have to change this to a degree. Perfect.
and create that. So we'll create a void player turn. And for now, all we want to do here is just make it clear to the player that he can choose an action. So let's set our dialog text equal to something that suggests that. Let's just put choose an action. There we go. Of course, currently we are calling this setup battle, and we are saying that a wild enemy approaches. We're then updating our HUD, and straight after that we're
Okay. I'd probably want to rewrite this later and just make the player enemy thing white or black. Especially if it's going to be an online thing. If I have an AI thing too, I'll have to change that up, but for now, I'll still just use this example while we're writing it. So we have the basics down.
calling our player turn. And all of this is going to happen inside the start method. And that's not really something we want. We want to add a bit of delay here, as we talked about. So how do we do this? Well, to wait in code, we use coroutines. Now we use coroutines quite often here on the channel, but if you've never seen one before, the syntax is a bit frightening, but just think of them as functions that are running separately from everything else, which allows us to pause them whenever we want. So to turn this setup battle here into a coroutine, we replace the void with I enumerator. Again, I know the syntax.
Syntax is weird though. Like, why do you do it that way?
Syntax here is weird. And now before we go ahead and change to the player turn, we can put in yield, return new, wait 4 seconds. And here we can input the amount of seconds we would like to pause. So I'm just going to put in 2 seconds. Now whenever we are calling a coroutine, we need to add a tiny bit of code. We need to add start coroutine. And then wrap our entire function call in that. So that's all the syntax we need. I know it's a bit weird, but it's always the same way, so you can just have a look at what I'm doing here. We're just calling start coroutine, then the name of the function. We're replacing void with enumerator, and then we're putting in a yield that waits for 2 seconds. So with that, if we save and go into Unity and hit play, as you can see, a wild the rock approaches, and after 2 seconds, it says choose an action.
Oh yeah, I forgot to do it again. That's all the stuff we had. But now, boop, black may choose an action, and then we'll swap to white may choose an action. Is the idea there.
And we can now either press attack or heal. Of course, currently nothing happens, so let's go ahead and add some logic for the buttons. Let's start with the attack button. So to do that, we go into our script and we'll create a new function here called onAttackButton. And we want to trigger this function whenever the onAttack button is pressed. However, in order to do this through the UI, we need to mark it as public. And what we want to do here is to check if it's currently the player's turn. So if state is not equal to battlestate.playerTurn, then we'll simply go ahead and return out of this function. We don't want to do anything more. But if it is, well, then we'll continue down here and then we'll call some kind of player attack function. In fact, let's make this a coroutine so that we can pause during our attack. So we'll do start coroutine around that function call. And let's go ahead and create the function as well. So we'll create an I enumerator. We'll call it player attack.
Start routine player attack.
And here we want to damage the enemy. We then want to wait for a few seconds. So yield, return new, wait for seconds. I'll put in 2 again. And then
Do
we
it
want
again.
to check if the enemy is dead and change state based on what happened. So we'll do that.
Dead.
In a sec, but for now let's just make sure that this function is triggering. So if we save this script and go into Unity, we now navigate to a UI. Let's find the dialog panel and here have the combat buttons. I'm going to select the attack button, and under any UI button there's an on-click event. Here we can choose what happens when this button is clicked. I'm going to hit plus. I'm going to drag in the battle system, and let's go under the battle system.
Okay. On attack button. Boom.
System script. And here we can now call the onAttack button function that we just made. Awesome, that is now going to trigger that function whenever we press this button. Of course, we
So
probably
that's
want to
right
make
here.
our player attack actually do something other than just wait 2 seconds. So let's have a look at damaging the enemy. Well, this is actually fairly easy. We have a reference to the enemy unit, and so we can simply go in here, and we could actually modify the HP directly, but it's better practice to create a function that does this. So let's create some kind of take damage function that takes in our player unit's damage. So player unit dot damage. Let's go ahead and create this function here. So let's go into our unit script, and in here let's create a public void take damage. This is is going to take in an int with the amount of damage. And it's then going to subtract that damage from our current HP, so minus equals. And in the case that our current HP reaches 0, we want to let our battle system know that this unit has died. So we want to go ahead and say if our current HP is less than or equal to 0 after we subtract this damage, well then we want to return either true or false. So true if the unit has died and false if it hasn't. So we'll go ahead and change the return type of this function from void to bool.
Why don't you just do it right away?
And we can now return true.
How many people do the extra rounds?
And if not, then we can return false. So this function is going to subtract the damage, check if this unit has died and return true if it has, or false if it hasn't. In this way, inside of our battle system, we can now gather this information in a boolean. So we'll create a boolean called isDead and set it equal to
Bool is dead.
the result of this function. And then down here, when we check if the enemy is dead, we can simply go if is dead. Well, then we want to end the battle. And if it's not, well, then it's the enemy's turn. There we go. We also just damaged the enemy, so we need to update the enemy HUD.
I did it again. I was wondering why that was wrong. I keep adding the extra E.
So we'll go enemy HUD. Dot set HP, and we'll pass in the enemy unit dot current HP, and let's also update the dialog text. So let's go dialog text dot text.
Wait, I did it for that too, didn't I? I wonder if that's why it kept coming out wrong. Okay. Enemy units. Current HP.
Equals the attack is successful. Then if we die, we'll change the state to battle state dot 1 because we just killed the enemy unit. And we'll call some kind of end battle function. Create this in a sec. And if the enemy isn't dead, we'll go ahead and set state equal to battle state dot enemy turn. And we'll start a coroutine with some kind of enemy turn function.
Okay. Oh. I'll leave that there. Battle system state equal 1. Okay.
Function that will also create in a sec. So let's start by creating the end battle function, void end battle. Again, you could turn this into a coroutine if you want.
If you want.
But I don't need to here because I'm simply going to update the dialog text. So if state is equal to battle state.1, well then we'll go ahead and set dialog text.text equal to you won the battle. And if not, and the state is equal to battle state.lost, well then we'll display
You suck. You what?
play.
Play. You suck. Okay.
You were defeated. And then I'd probably load out of the battle screen and so on and so on. So that's it for our end battle function. Now let's do our enemy turn. Again, this is a coroutine, so let's do an I enumerator. Call it enemy turn. And now in here you can definitely add some kind of AI to determine what the enemy does. If he also has an attack and a heal, you might want to attack if he has a chance of killing the player, or heal a few times if he loses health. You can put in whatever logic you want here. For now we can just make him attack every time. So to do that, let's create some dialog text that says that the enemy unit is attacking. So enemy unit dot unit name attacks will then wait 1 second, and that will damage the player. So player unit dot take damage based on the enemy unit's damage.
Yeah.
Again, we want to check if the player has died. So bull is dead. We want to update the player HUD. So player HUD .set HP based on player unit.current HP. Let's wait one more second. We can just copy this line here. And then let's determine whether or not the player is dead. So if he is dead.
Wait. Don't go so fast. Player HUD, set up HP.
Dead. Then we can set state equal to battle state dot lost, and again call the end battle function.
Okay, then. Wait, I don't need this. Battle.
If not, then we'll set state equal to battle state dot player turn and call the player turn function. There we go, that's an enemy turn. So we display in the dialog that he's attacking, we wait 1 sec, then we damage the player, we wait 1 more second, and then we determine if he's dead or not and change states.
Okay,
And with
that
that,
seems fine.
we should actually be able to go into Unity and hit play. And while the rock approaches, we'll choose the attack action. The attack is successful, and as we can see, the rock loses health. It attacks, we lose health, and we're back to...
Okay. Well, in this case, we're just gonna kill them right away. But we could test it. What am I not referencing? Why'd that get unreferenced? Well, there we go. That one did work. That did work. Okay. Just to show it with a bit more of a clean and interesting look, I'm just going to boost the HP of these people. Well, I guess I could just turn down the damage. I'll just turn down the damage. I'll make them both do 1 damage. Just so I can show what this is looking like. They both do 1 damage, they have 4 health. So we start the battle. Dun, 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 da 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 dun, dun. We attack. Da. White left bishop attacks. Da. Da. Then we get attacked again. Da. We attack again. The HP is going down more. Then we attack again. Da. Da. Okay, I wanted to see if I could click on this stuff. I cannot click on it, so that's good. But yeah, then our unit has 1 HP left, etc. It actually looks kinda cool. Kinda cool. Luckily, I wonder how simple AI was in the past. Was it really just that simple, you know? I'll change that back to 4 again. In theory, using prefabs for a chess game would make sense, because we could save other conditional stuff somewhere else if we want the power-ups to be something special. That can be what's stored in a don't destroy on load. But since chess is, you know, you both start with the same pieces, we wouldn't necessarily have to worry about that much. The things that will be important here to keep the logic of will be if we use the PowerPoint system thing, whatever I decide to do with that. But we got the groundworks.
To the player turn, and we'll be able to continue like this until either we or the enemy dies. So we'll go ahead and attack it one more time, and we won the battle because its HP is now 0. Awesome. So that was the battle system and all of the game states. That was it for the unit and the attack action. And we can just go ahead and add a heal action real quick just for fun. So doing this is much easier. We simply need to duplicate the on attack button function here, and let's call it on heal button instead.
Okay, so copy this. We're going to name this one on power button.
Only do this if it's our turn, and it's going to start a coroutine called player heal, and
We want coroutine player power. Okay. Essentially, we can just do
all this is going to do is be an enumerator called player heal. And of course we need to heal the players. Let's go into our unit and create a heal function. Public void heal. It's going to take in an amount.
So if I wanted to increase the power,
And it's just going to increase our current HP by that amount. And if the current HP gets greater than the max HP, well then we'll simply set current HP equal to the max HP.
I'm going to write this one down. Just because, why not? I don't know if I'll make a heal feature or not, but it'll be there as an example. I don't think I made this when I was doing the example stuff before, though. Okay, heal amount, current HP. I didn't even close it. Downfall. No, actually I don't need those. Don't need it. Get rid of it. Aren't we healing to full health then?
Then inside of our battle system, we can call the player unit dot heal.
Well, you're saying amounts. Int amount. Current HP plus amount. Aren't you just healing the difference of your current HP? So it is healing you fully.
Let's just heal by 5 points. We'll
Oh, okay.
update the UI.
So you would change it in there. I see. I
So
see. I'm gonna add that. I'll just write this note for myself. That seems helpful. Oh good. It went away. Went away completely. How did that happen? It always happens. Always happens every time. Well, either way. So what we're doing here is we made a heal thing. So now they're gonna need to recover an amount, etc., etc. So that means we can do the same thing then. With this. And then just add damage plus equal amount. Well, would I want that there? I only want it to power up when you hit the button. And then do the normal damage, but this would change the damage permanently. So your current HP has whatever amount added to it. And if your current HP is greater than your max HP, current HP, because max HP... I don't know, I think this one I just might have to play with. Could I add it to take damage? If they're not dead, then any unit takes damage. The damage is based on the player's damage. So for the power, we would just want to to add to it. But we would need a resource to spend. We don't have a resource to spend right now. So essentially there'd be no reason not to just use this. But I guess that's fine for right now. Let me look back at this. What do we have right now? The attack button is doing on attack button. On attack button is doing if the state is on player turn. And that means when you press this, it's going to run. Yeah, as long as it is the player's turn, then I'll start running the coroutine for player attack. And then player attack is, you know, they can take damage. So, I mean, essentially we would want almost the same exact thing, right? When we press the button and I'll say, Black unleashes its power. Then instead of this, we want... player unit damage. I mean, that's all we'd actually need, right? We'd only need that simple dialogue, except if we want to add in like a resource thing, where if you use it, then you get your little power-up bauble taken away. That's what we would have to change, but we don't have that right now, so essentially we just want this. But that would change the damage permanently, wouldn't it? Also, I'd have to change it. It would actually still be take damage. It's just the damage they're taking would be the player unit. And then we'd combine it with the power. Actually, no, I can just do this, right? Right, I would have to do this instead, wouldn't I? Can't do that. Yeah, that one wouldn't work. Pretty much I'd want. And then I'd just do... because it boosts the damage. And then we wait. The player unit power then goes back down. Well, you can just put it there.
The max HP, well then we'll simply set current HP equal to the max HP. Then inside of our battle system, we can call the player unit dot heal. Let's just heal by 5 points. We'll update the UI, so player HUD dot set HP, player unit dot current HP. We'll update the dialog text. You feel renewed strength, wait 2 seconds, and change to the enemy's turn. And that's it. We can now save that, go into Unity, and here we of course want to make sure to select the heal button and add an on-click event to that as well. We'll find our battle system on heal button function, and if we now play, and let's maximize the game view here, we can choose of course the attack action, that still works. We take some damage from the attack from the rock, we'll press heal, and we immediately regain some HP and we feel renewed strength. And there we go, we've now created turn-based combat with different actions and an enemy, and it's all working. Awesome! That of course means that we can check off the last thing that we needed to do here. And there are of course a bunch of ways that you can expand upon this. You can change the UI based on game state. In fact, let me just go ahead and add some of those here. So I'll just drag in a column. Let's call it making it cooler. I'm just gonna add in some bullets that you could add. You could change the UI based on the game state, similar to what they do here in Pokemon. You could add animations to units and health bars. I think a good example of this is definitely Final Fantasy, where you can
What?
by 5 points. We'll update the UI, so player HUD.setHP.
Oh, I realize what is wrong. The thing that was wrong is I didn't save it. That's what was wrong. I was wondering why I was getting so many errors. So wait, does that work then? Oh, no. Want to do that? I mean, player units. I think that would work. I think that would work. Just to show. I did the quick little power reset thing of just subtracting it instead of adding it. Should be good enough. So now we should be able to use this power up to bap the person on the nose. And they will get hurt a little bit more than they normally would. So to test that again, we're going to change the damage to 1 again. For a little test. Load into the game. Let me put this down. Okay, so game started. We're gonna do our normal attack first. Boom. We attack. They attack. Then we're gonna hit power. Boom. We did a powerful attack. So you see our health bars. Now, far up higher than the other one. And then if we just do a normal attack. We don't know how much we actually did. But yeah, let me try that again one more time, because I want to make sure that the attack doesn't stay powered up. We're going to do power attack. Let me actually put this up. We can see it firsthand then. Okay, yeah, we do the power attack. Our HP goes down, our attack goes back to normal. And then if we do a power attack again, it does 2 again, instead of doing like 4 damage. I wanted to make sure that didn't get messed up. So that works correctly. I'm happy with that. That's actually nice to see. It always feels good to be working on games again. Always feels good.
Player, make sure to subscribe and ring that.
No. Not gonna subscribe and ring the bell. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of work that I need to do for this system, because I just saw someone bring up a point in the comments. We can still attack while it's while it is the other person's turn. Yep. We did it. See, we don't want that to happen. When we hit the attack button, we need to lock up the controls there to make them not read inputs. But there's a bunch of stuff we can do to refine that. In general, though, we have base outline for RPG system. Pretty easy to follow. Now if we just add some music in here, then that would work out. Boom. So we can see HP going down, we got our units number, and we also have our unit names, we have our unit class. So we know it's the left bishop, white bishop, we know it's number 2 for it. That's the second bishop on the board. Whatever. that stuff doesn't really matter, it's just kind of there for flavor for the UI. The unit class would be more important to see. More so if you like have something where it's like you can change the name of your unit. If we added something like that, then we would still be able to see, yeah, this is considered a bishop, even if you named it Scrungili Yokel. Scrungili Yokel! They're a bishop class. You know, if you did something like that. But, yeah. I'm glad the power thing worked. It gives me some ideas of what I could do. I'd like to see how I can integrate it now together, would be the next step. Trying to make things, you know, integrate together. This is obviously the test scene, where our main scene is our big ol' scene filled with actual chess. Oh, that was can blow up. We want sample. So yeah, our actual scene over here, which is just actual game of chess with nice menus, background. We can look at the online game stuff. We can go to the local game and actually start up properly. Move around the board, figure out what's going on. Boom. Boom. Then we win. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, if we kill that one, we put them in check so they can't do anything. I definitely need to fix up some different stuff there still, but we have the basic game of chess there. So what we need to do... I should be able to take this stuff for my test scene, but what we need to do is be able to grab these pieces, and then when we do this, we want it to pop up into a, you know, other display to show this turn-based system is what we want. Then we'll be good. Boom. So that is what we want. The question there would be, like, do I make the 3D pieces stay? And then when you start the battle, it goes into a 2D sprite thing? We could do something like that. Or do they stay 3D and I use the sprite thing like I've been doing? Or they sprite billboard and look at you no matter what. No matter what way the camera's facing. They stay on their 2.3D plane thing. I keep hitting the wrong one. Forgot that I named this the other thing. So pretty much we just want to be able to mesh both of these scenes together. To be able to do both things. Would be ideal, but we'll see how that goes. But at this point, we got more done with that than I thought we would. I'm very happy that we at least got the groundworks of RPG system started. We just still have to make this UI look a lot nicer. The powerful attack worked. Ah. Actually, I didn't wait long enough for it, did I? It just activates right away. Yeah, I should probably do this. Yield return. New. I'll just wait for 1 second. This is like very pointless, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Very pointless, but just to see it. Just to see it. Yeah. Black unleashes its power. Powerful attack worked. Okay. Yeah. I just wanted that dialogue to display. It was going too fast. But yeah, that was some decent work then. We got plenty more to go. But I think at this point I'm gonna do some Japanese practice. I might do some drawing also. But yeah, I think I'll do break now. Let some music play in the background for a moment while I get all that stuff set up and get this set down for a little bit. But yeah, we'll be switching to something else then. So I am going to do that. For anyone who dropped in for the game dev junk, thanks for peeking in. Hope you enjoyed me messing with Unity stuff, the abysmal software that I started with, so it's what I know. Whenever I get done with this project, I'm probably going to switch to a different engine, but we're dealing with this right now, because I already know it. But yeah, I'll be right back. Alright. I forgot I still had that song on here. Make sure Renshu is up. Got a whole bunch more words to learn on Renshu. I feel like this language learning thing is not very good. It's not terrible, but I feel like they give you too many things to learn at once. And it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Let me just make sure this is okay. Well, I can swap back anyway. Boop. But let me pop this away. And we'll pop this up instead. Ba-da. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-na-na. I'll turn that down a little bit. Don't need the One Piece right now. We always need One Piece, that's a lie. Let's look at kanji first. Hey, it's the kanji for 5. So we know that can mean go. Or it's probably go in this case. Itsu, going over 5. Itsu. Itsu. Ichi, itsu. Ichi, itsu. Is that intentional? It's like every 5, some variation of E. That would be helpful if it was. But we know go and itsu. Go and itsu. Okay, let's see. What do we have here? We got toki, we got ka, we got aida, and we got onna. Onna. We got the thing for day. Got that. Looks kind of like a key. Toki? G, look at the time. I'll go stub my toe on the key. Oh! This one I just remember somehow. Owen, die, or Tai, take center. Ko. 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 I always forget the abbreviation I make for this. The E is kuyuku. Lingering like this. The E is lingering like this. The E is kuyuku. Ko. Death. And then we have Nagai. Should be this one. This is still something I don't have a well saying for either. Then we have mu, we got E. Okay, so what are our options? We got another go. We got koku. We got shu. In. Shun. Shun. Then we have Q. Q. Go. Koku. Koku. Shi. Shun. Shun. Go. Q. Q. One's Q. 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 No. Let's go. Let's go sing Age Ato Ushiro. Ato Ushiro. It's the one I always mess up every time. Every time I mess it up. I'll get it eventually. Maybe. At least I remember those. Age ru ue ua. This one. I took Joe out above the deck to give ageru. And then go. I just wish there wasn't so many kanji that meant the same exact thing. I mean, they don't mean the same exact thing, but they sound like they have the same syllables and mean completely different things. I should say. Which is just like plenty of English words, so I should be used to it, but I'm not. I am not used to it. Idiot. Baka. I like how they use Patrick. Baka. These are all new words, again, too, by the way. Watashi tachi. Watashi tachi.
私たち
Wata.
私たち
Watatashi. Why does it sound like they're not pronouncing the she? Is that intentional?
私たち
Watatachi. Yeah, it sounds like they're just not saying the she at all. Watashi tashi. Watashi tachi.
私たち
Watatashi. It just sounds like they're just skipping over the she. Watatashi. Maybe that's intentional. Bread. Pun. I know that one. Kami. Hair. On the head. Hair on the head.
髪
Yawara. Kai. Yawara kai.
柔らかい
Yawara kai. Yawara kai. Yawara kai. Yawara kai. Limp, soft, mellow. Michi. Non-block neighborhood. Michi. Shizuka.
静か
That is a creepy face. He.
火
He can. Can remember it from Fire Fist Ace. Atarashi.
新しい
Atarashi. New novel, fresh, recent. Atarashi. I don't know. Pankoan? No, it's Pankon. Or is that a Su? No, that's a Pansokon. Pansokon?
パソコン
Pasokon? That sounds weird. Pasonkon? Sounds very odd. Igoto.
仕事
Work. Labor. Business. Waruri. Waruri.
悪い
Bad, undesirable, evil, sinful, ugly, not beautiful. Warui. Nakagai. 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 Nakagai.
仲がいい
Nakagai. Close, intimate, on good terms. Eki. Train station.
駅
I know that one from Duolingo. Stinginess. Mercilessness. Penny pinching in his ear. Catchy.
ケチ
Catchy. Catchy for being sketchy. Amai.
甘い
Sweet tasting. Sugary. Fragrant. Amai. Ocha. Ocha. That's just
お
tea.
茶
Usually you see green tea as the defining term. Know that from Duolingo though. Wakai. Wakai.
若い若い
Wakai. Chiku.
楽
Oh, I looked at it quick and thought it was chi. Raku. Raku.
楽
Peace. Nagai. Nagai?
長い
Prolonged, protracted. Nagai. Well, let's see well and or bad we do. Nakagai. This is close. Nakagai. Soko. Is there. Sweet tasting, sugary, fragrant. We have Okina Marui Amai Hiroi. Amai. It's Amai. Amai. Machi. 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 Fourth something town block.
Machi
Machi. Pansokon. Pansokon. Wait, is it just supposed to be pants computer? Pants computer, the computer you put on your pants? Pansokon. That's what I'm gonna think of it now as. Pansokon. Ugh, that's silly. That's silly. Karui. 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 I think it was light. Karui.
軽い
Nimotsu. Nimotsu. Luggage. Nimotsu.
荷物
Multi-floor building. Biru. Atarashi. Atarashi. New.
新しい
New latest fashion, cool stuff. Neko. For cat. E. Good. Agreeable. It's okay. Tanoshi. 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 Karai is dark and gloomy. Enjoyable, fun, pleasant. Tanoshi. That sounds right.
楽しい
Tea. Ocha. Ocha. Bread is pan. On. Wait. Wait. No, it's definitely this. Definitely that. And it's just like, I didn't spell it wrong in my head, did I? No. No way. This one. He. They just use this single kanji. Yasashi. Yasashi. Yasashi to desu. You're nice. You're a nice person. Kohi. Beautiful, lovely, etc., etc. Daisuki. Isogashi. Utsukushi. Utsukushi. Ikaga. Ikaga. Utsukushi. Daisuki. Daisuki. Isn't Daisuki like love? I don't think it's that one. Aisugashi. Utsukushi. Utsukushi. I feel like it's this one. Yeah, it was.
美しい
Trying to look into my memory. Nakai? Nakai? Nagai. I think it's Nagai.
長い
House, residence, dwelling. It's just, yeah.
家
Shiken. Shiken. Because it's an examination. This is the one that I always mess up. Suppotsu. Suppotsu. I think it's this. I always forget if there's two. No, it was that one. Suppotsu. Stinginess, mercilessness, penny pinching. Kenshi. Kenshi, because you're sketchy. Kenshi, because you're sketchy. Hahale. Mother. One's own mother, to be specific. Tenki. Tenki. Tenki is weather. Young, youthful, immature, green. Nagai. Kirai. Tanoshi. Wakai. Wakai.
若い
Wakai. Railway station, that's Eki. I know that one. There. This one was Ami. Which can also mean paper, God, and hair, apparently. Raku. Raku. Potent, determined, strong, brownie. This one's, I'm actually not sure. Raku. Raku. I know I just read it. I just read this earlier. It's in the memory banks, but if I didn't retain it properly. I don't think it's old. So I have three options. Potent, competent, domineering, tough. Dangerous, risky, hazardous, perilous, in danger, in jeopardy. I mean, my body is telling me to pick this one. And that was right.
楽
Comfort, ease. Yeah, I was like, Raku doesn't feel so stressful. Raku feels peaceful. It's peaceful. Shizuka. 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 That's quiet and silent. Baseball is Yaku. Store, shop, etc. is Mise. Akarui. 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 That's also light, but in a different way, right? Because Aka, or it was like Karui is light, but then Akarui is like very light and cheerful or something. I don't know the actual difference beyond what it says in the definitions, but it sounds similar. Sounds very similar. Tenin. It's employee. I know that, even if I can't pronounce it. Work, job, labor, business, task, work. Shigoto. Shigoto.
仕事
Work, job, labor, yeah. Baka. That one's simple. We, us. This is Watatachi. 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 Watatati. Watatachi. Watashi tachi. Watatachi.
私たち
Watasha.
私たち
Watatashi. Watatachi. It's wata, shi, tachi, but they say wata, tachi. So confusing, so confusing. The she is silent. Always remember the she is silent. In us, the she is silent because we're bros. That'd be a weird way to remember it. Be a very odd way to remember it, but it would be a way to remember it. Hamura. Hamera. Rather. Yawu. Yawa. Rakai. Yawarakai. Yawarakai. I don't think this would really help me. Rakai. Yawarakai. Yawarakai.
Yawarakai.
Yawarakai.
Yawarakai.
Well, zero mastery. New word. Bad, poor, evil, sinful, ugly, not beautiful. Kakai. Ya. Warui. Hayai. 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 Sunotai. Sume. Tai. Tai. Takai. Nope.
悪い
Warui. Soft, tender.
柔らかい
Yawarakai. Go figure, both the things with wa I get messed up. Warui.
悪い
It is you who is to blame. Warui no Wakimi no Mau da Madue Madu Mado Mada. Should be Modo Moda 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 Moda. I can speak word. Our words speak me. I speak word, but word don't speak me. I speak word bad, but I speak. So, I didn't do that terrible. Didn't do that terrible. Oh, but learning so many new words. That's terrible. Still have even more to learn. But I'm just gonna do some of these really quick. Physician is a job that isn't easy. Physician is a job that isn't easy. Janai. Raku. Isha. Isha wa raku janai. Because I know Isha is doctor, so Isha ya. Isha. Wow. I guess could be physician also. He is a serious and kind teacher. Kare wa shinsetsu majime da. Majime da. Shinsetsu sensei desu.
彼は真面目で親切な先生です
Yeah, I wouldn't get that normally. I am not a serious student. I am not a serious student. Gakusei desu. Gakusei desu. Okay. I am not, so we want watashi wa... And this one, they just kind of give it to us. Majime janai gakusei desu.
私は真面目じゃない学生です。
Lonely, lonesome dung eater. Yeah. That is a sad and lonely story. I'll definitely need to learn that. Definitely need to learn that. それは寂しい悲しくて話です。Hanashi. I think Hanashi is story. I believe. Lonely, lonesome, solitary, desolate is Sabashi. Sabishi. 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 Because you're sad. So lonely is Hanashikute. Sore wa Sabashi. I mean, how I know how the adjectives work, this makes sense to me. But they were telling me stuff about kute and stuff, so... Okay, yeah, I did have to switch them. Okay. I see. So does kute always go first, then? The school is quiet and safe. Okay, so we want Shizukate. Shizukate. Kade. Onsen. Onsen. Is Onsen school? Gakko. Oh no, Gakusei is so Gakko. This would probably help if I knew which one was school. I don't know which one is school. Gakko wa... Shot in the dark. Shock in the dark. I was like, that one ends with day, so it's probably the adjective, right? Apparently I got it right.
学校は静かで安全です。
One ear at the other. This is not a scary movie. Literally, this is a movie that is not scary. Okay. Well, this one is simple for the first part. Kore wa. This is. Kiga. Oh no, that'd be. Eiga. 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 Kowakunai. Kowakunai. Eiga. Because nai is another adjective thingy.
これは怖くない映画です。
At least I'm getting better at identifying the sentence structure. I've been pretty good about that. これは So kute comes before the e.
それは悲しくて寂しい話です。
I wonder if I'll get to the level of being able to even speak like that. Is my pronunciation pretty not good? Pretty not good. Oop. You got a bonus. Boom. Suika. Suika. Who's gonna have that watermelon? Boom. But I just wanted to unwind a little bit with end off with some Japanese lessons. We did some game dev stuff. We got the bone frame for the RPG stuff. Now we just need to figure out how to actually start combining everything together. Among a whole bunch of other things for the laundry list, but we're actually moving along with it, so I'm happy for that at least. So, for anyone that might have popped in, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'm gonna go now and eat dinner and all that good stuff, so until next time, catch you later. Jane.